Oh, somebody said Chubb traded. Is that accurate?
Who?
Chubb.
Oh, probably. Do you guys care anymore?
Damn, you really, man.
Do you?
I heard you yesterday. I was like, damn, you just done with the season. That's why I think you owe. I mean, you definitely wild heat coyote.
No,
But I
what a
think
But
season.
here's what
I think
happens
you really
when
going
the
hard
other
body
teams,
because the
when the
Dolphins are
other teams,
struggling.
right, and that's what it is. Okay, now that the Dolphins are just a dumpster fire, all of his hopes and dreams have just gone into the heat, and so that means that anything positive he can pull or any feel good he can pull from the heat, he's gonna pull it.
No. I mean, I'm a great compartmentalizer. You guys always do this. You think that one team reflects on how I feel about the other team? I'm genuinely like, is anybody genuinely heartbroken if Bradley Chubb gets traded? It's super obvious what's going to happen. They're a terrible team. He's a veteran. His contract is up. Duh, if he gets traded.
Yeah, but the problem is that
Like if the
if
guy,
you just look at what happened with the JP trade,
Mhm.
right?
He seems super happy. By the way, I saw him
Yeah.
yesterday peacocking in Philly,
Um,
hitting him with the Go Birds.
but the problem is they're not only trading players, they're giving money too.
Yeah, so
Yeah,
I don't
so
understand why that's a big like people are like, oh, they spent a little extra money to get a better pick. Yeah, good.
no, I'm not talking about that. I'm just saying if this continues, you already got a boatload of dead money.
No, but they're paying money for this year. They're just taking more salary from this year to pay it. Like I don't understand why this is a big deal.
Not I don't know if they did it with Chubb.
No, they did it with Jaelan
I know,
Phillips, but I'm
but
saying I don't understand why anybody cares about that. Like if you found out that
is there that much of a difference between having the money and getting a fourth rounder or moving up
okay, but here's
to
my
a third rounder against a team where that pick is going to be late in the draft
well,
anyway?
yeah, then your pick is almost closer to a fifth round pick if your point would be then. So if I spent a little more money, which isn't going to cost, it really isn't going to mean anything because I'm not doing anything with that money. Why not get the better pick? I don't understand why that's a criticism.
But you are doing something with that.
You're not though.
You're not only having dead money, but you're also paying money out also that's going to count against the cap.
It's not dead money. It's his salary for this year. You were already paying it. So why not get the better pick? You're taking it on. Like you're not going to do like I would understand that if you were going to do anything with that relief. There's no relief. His contract's up at the end of the year.
Mhm.
So I don't again, why do people care if Stephen Ross is willing to pay $5 million to get a better pick? Good for him. You know what I mean? Like it's kind of a weird
That's
thing to
pretty
criticize.
steep to go from the fourth round to the third round.
Well, what does it matter to you? You know what I mean?
It doesn't.
Like
It
no,
doesn't matter.
no, but
It
seriously,
doesn't matter.
I
Doesn't matter. It's
I
just-
don't understand
it's
why.
just money.
But Leroy,
It's just money.
I
No,
get
it doesn't
right.
matter.
So like, why
Right.
are fans upset about it? I
Right.
don't understand why this is an argument. You know what I mean? Like it seems like one of those. Can I just tell you?
Here's why.
Here's what I
Because
would tell you.
every time I see somebody else make a trade, very rarely do you see this happen. And with all the bad decisions that the Dolphins have made, to see that they are the ones that are doing this when nobody else is doing it,
it's not a bad decision though.
But
Like
that's why I have pause.
it's not a bad decision.
But
like,
when
if
your
you could,
organization, who has made terrible choices the last couple of years when it comes to money, makes a money decision, like just have pause.
no, see that's the thing is like I think that the Dolphins are bad with their money. That's true.
Mhm.
But also you want to get the best asset possible. There's going to be no ramifications for spending that money anyway. His contract's up this year. If you had to take on contract past this year, I would understand the argument.
Right.
But if Stephen Ross is willing to pay extra money to get a better pick, I don't understand why anybody's upset about it. You're not going to do anything with that money anyway.
Okay. I think it's going to cost them next year. This is not like, look, Tobin is informed. If teams pay salaries, you can roll that cap space to 2026.
Yeah, but would you rather have the better asset? Like they're not going to have
so
they're not going to
here's
have
my
money
question.
next year anyway.
Here is my question that you seem to just is having a late third round pick versus a late fourth round pick worth $5 million. Because the guy, they barely make that in the whole contract. So that's where I'm getting at. Is paying $5 million to move to a late third round pick worth $5 million? because you don't even give that player that contract. The contract's not $5 million.
Who cares? They're slotted anyway.
I know, but is it worth moving up and spending more than you would actually spend for the player?
I think you would like to have the asset of a 3rd-round pick for a guy who's going to be sunk and gone anyway. And especially you're not going to have money anyway next year.
Okay.
You're cooked on the Tua books.
Okay.
Like you're done.
Right.
It's over, dude.
Okay.
Like
Right.
I think you collect the best assets that you can.
No, I understand. I understand everything you're saying. But why are you paying more money than you would pay the actual player that you would get in that pick? Is that how much it's worth to move up that far? $5 million to get a player that you're not going to give a $5 million contract to?
Yeah, I mean, like
that sounds crazy.
I guess I don't know. I guess these are one of those things. Like this is such a small potatoes problem in comparison to the rest of the team.
Yeah, but
like I'd rather just have the better asset.
If you screw up a whole bunch of small situations, it ends up costing you big in the end.
Yeah, but they haven't screwed up small situations. They've screwed up the biggest situation.
Okay,
you know what I mean?
Still, that's my question that hasn't been answered, and that's all I want to answer for it. And that's why I feel the way I feel. Is it worth $5 million to move up to a spot where the contract that you give the guy is not even going to be $5 million?
But there's not going to be a contract. In effect, his contract's up.
No. I'm talking about the draft pick. If I were to go to
I understand.
If I would go into the draft and say, hey, I want to pay to move up from 4th to 3rd.
Right.
It wouldn't cost me $5 million because nobody gets paid that much.
I understand he's a 1st-round pick. Like that's why he makes more money. Like you're not paying that money next year. His contract's up. And so for this space that you could theoretically roll over for next year, you're not going to have anything to get anyway because you're sunk because of all the money you have to pay Tua. You know what I mean? Right. Like I'd rather have the better pick if they're willing to get it.
I understand. Oh, okay.
It's kind of a weird thing because it's like Stephen Ross gets praised because he's willing to pay the money.
No, I understand. I'm just asking a question. Why would you move up and spend an amount of money that costs more than the player you're going to sign at that pick? That seems like a steep price just to move up from 4th to 3rd round.
But you're not paying it next year. Like the pick is the pick.
Would you rather have my question, would you rather have the $5 million and have a 4th round pick?
The $5 million for so would I rather have the cap space next year that you would roll over?
No. I'm saying just in general.
No.
In general.
I'd rather have a higher pick.
Is it worth $5 million to move up? I don't care how you do it, to move up to pay $5 million to move. If the draft was a free market, how much would it cost you to move up in the draft to that point from 4th round to 3rd round?
I think we just found out.
It wouldn't cost. But if your team is the only team doing it, is it a good move when they've made bad decisions before?
Yeah, they've made bad decisions. But, like, I don't think this is amongst the ones that I'm getting crazy about.
All right.
Like, I'd try and get the highest picks possible. You're going to need as much good, cheap talent and the bigger pool to look at than anybody. Because you're cooked on money next year anyway.
Yes.
So whatever rolls over, whatever's there, doesn't matter. You're better to go have a better pool of young guys to go look at than you are the money. You're cooked on the money.
Yeah, would that be their 2nd, 3rd round pick? They would have 2, 3, 3rd round picks?
I don't think they have a 3rd. That would be their 1st, 3rd round pick.
So if they didn't have
where they have 1, a 2, and then they have a couple of 3s, I think.
So if they have a couple of 3s, you could use that couple of 3s to move up in the draft.
Correct.
So then, therefore, yeah, it's worth the $5 million.
They say estimated 2026 3rd round pick contract, but that's the average of all of them. You're gonna have a bottom 3rd rounder.
But you could use them for a package. That pick for a package for a trade.
I understand that. My simple basic question was, that seems a little steep to move up when you could have traded them and just got a 4th round pick, right? I'm not even talking about the money aspect of it. it almost seems like you're overpaying again to move up to a position that doesn't even make that much money. So in effect, if you draft at the end of the third round, right, then that player would have cost you $10 million for a third round pick. That's how I'm looking at it.
You better be good.
Now, which brings me back to my point. The decisions that this organization made, do you trust them with a third
why
round
would I
pick?
trust them?
Exactly.
I mean, if your
So
question was,
why-
do I trust them? But this is not
so
one of those.
why do it?
Because they want, I guess because they want it to look good. I understand what you're saying.
Right.
I get what you're saying, but this isn't one of those ones where I'm like crazy about it. Like, I get it. You want to get as high picks as possible because your team's going to suck next year.
But that's
Get as
not
much
even
good young talent as
that's
possible.
not even value though. That's what I'm saying. If we're going now moving forward, and we're making good.
Well, it's not value
sound-
anyway. You have a first round pick that you just sent off. Like, it's not value anyway.
Well, because
He's not making his second
that-
contract. It's
that
already
I-
it's already a sunk cost.
that I understand.
You know what I mean?
But because here, we had this conversation yesterday. How much is JP worth?
Yeah, I don't know. With his injuries, I don't know.
Do you want to go into the offseason with that?
We gotta take a break.
All right.
As they dealt Jaelan Phillips yesterday to the Philadelphia Eagles. You want to hear Jaelan Phillips' reaction to being traded to the Eagles? He got caught up with him in the airport.
All right.
That's journalism. When you're a reporter, you catch somebody at the
That's
airport.
what happened when I went to Carolina.
Yeah?
It was a madhouse at the
How many people were there?
6.
probably like maybe 30.
Wow.
Oh, you were big things in
How about
Carolina.
that?
No, it wasn't.
All that, and they wouldn't even pay for your socks. Cheap
That was
bastards.
Culture shock.
Cheap bastards. You got this. You got the buttons up, Vlad. Here's Jaelan Phillips.
Here with Jaelan Phillips, you wake up this morning and you probably got a call. What is it like to be traded here to Philly and the defending champs and the 6-2 Eagles?
I mean, it's incredible. It's like I had no idea this was going to happen, but I mean, there's literally no other team I'd rather play for. Obviously Philly is a storied franchise, great tradition here, incredible team. So I'm just excited to get in, get to work with the guys, man. I'm super excited. It's going to be awesome.
And you had a lot of success with Vic Fangio for that year. What is the fit with Vic Fangio? Are you excited to be reunited with him?
Yeah, I love Vic as a person and as a coach. So like you said, I had some good success with him. Excited to get back into his system and play with the other guys on defense too.
For Eagles fans, final question. What are you going to bring for this Eagles team in this city?
Oh, man, I'm just going to work my ass off. I'm going to, come in, be a humble worker, earn the guys' respect, earn the fans' respect, just come in and do everything I can to support the team. I want to be able to fly around and make plays. Yeah, literally fly around.
Best wishes to you.
Absolutely.
Welcome
Thank
to
you.
Philly.
Yes, sir. Go
Appreciate
Birds.
your time.
Oh,
Wow, he's making puns now.
How
Look
about
at
that? Look at that. Making himself
Fly
at home.
around.
Making himself at home.
Ah, Fly around.
Stings.
Literally.
Stings. Wow. All right. Well, best of luck to him. Listen, I got nothing against Jaelan Phillips. I really liked him as a player.
Same.
You know?
And you know what's going to happen. Every time the Dolphins trade for a player, he gets here and gets hurt. Now JP is going to play 7 straight seasons.
Oh yeah. Absolutely. He's gonna be healthier than ever. Never gonna get banged up.
Oh, he's gonna get every sack now. No more warning track sack power.
It's true. It's gonna look like Lawrence Taylor.
It's like it's like he had silicone on his gloves.
It's crazy. What is it? What was that?
Fangs was somebody said we should have kept
As head coach.
Fangs as head coach. He was a head coach at
Yeah.
Denver.
He blamed.
He sucked.
He wasn't that
It
bad.
wasn't that bad.
Yes, he was.
He blames COVID. You know.
I mean, look. The problem is that sometimes when you become a coach of a bad team, there's no patience to see it through, and so you have to make decisions that try to win now when the long-term solution would be better. But nobody has patience for that. So we know that at the end of the year, if Mike McDaniel's not here anymore and they bring in a new coach and a new GM, that process is going to take a couple of years. But if they don't have success after the first year, you're going to want to fire the coach.
Yeah, I just don't think that Mike McDaniel has really shown himself to be a good head coach.
No, this has nothing to do with Mike McDaniel, the comments that I'm making, right? If it's the end of him. It's the end of him, right? That he earned that. But what I'm saying is, based on what you see the Dolphins doing right now, and the new coach they bring in, it's going to take a couple of years, right? In most cases, when this happens, that coach that comes first is not the coach who is the coach when it comes out on the other side
I get
of
what you're
that,
saying.
because nobody has patience with that. So
Well, that's how he got the job.
right. So would it be better to keep Mike McDaniel through the terrible year while you fix everything, and then the job becomes more appealing? Because we've seen a lot of coaches fired after a year or two, knowing the organization knowing it was a rebuild.
I see what you're saying, and I get that point. Like why? Like if your plan is to tank and you think he stinks, just kind of go through it. Here's the thing: I'm really tired of cutting his press conferences.
I know, but do you understand?
Really
if you
tired
bring
of
in
it.
another coach, that coach will probably only be a coach for a couple of years, because you're going to get tired of that too. Even though you know beforehand,
There's no way his press conference.
it's a rebuild.
Time out. Why do you still want to keep this guy?
It's not.
He's just saying, like, if you know the damage is done, why bring the guy into a bad situation?
Yeah, look at Mayo. Right?
But Mayo was there. Like that's the
no, but I'm just.
But
I'm
Mayo
just,
was also, he was a pain in the ass as well. It wasn't like he was endearing to the organization.
Okay, I
He
got
almost
you.
had a Brian. The way Mayo was to the Patriots was similar to what people were saying about Flores down here in Miami.
Okay, because they all got that Bill Belichick.
They all got the Bill Belichick in them.
Right.
They don't want this Mike McDaniel, because Mike McDaniel's not Kevin O'Connell, Sean McVay,
Right.
Shanahan. He's none of those guys.
That energy that came from Detroit, right? All that energy, you could see it kind of working its way through the league, right? With all the coaches that
Chicago.
Yeah, it's just a type of energy that in a way these guys do things that kind of starts the process. My thing is that everybody says you know who you want to be your coach. You know who you want to do this and be the next coach here. You do realize you better pick two coaches, because the first coach ain't going to make it through the whole reset, because y'all going to hate him after a year or two. I just want to be competitive. I don't care that we're losing. No, it's going to be a rebuild. Everybody, from the fans to the organization to everybody's going to have to be patient with this. If you're okay with this, this is why I make a big deal about it before.
Yeah,
because nobody's ever this patient.
But like, I guess my point is, like, first of all, it's his fourth year. Like they've been patient. Like
this has nothing to do with Mike.
But even in past years, like who hasn't really gotten the time they've deserved?
Well, no, I'm
Dolphins.
not saying anybody has. What I'm saying is that you're entering a situation where you know you're probably not going to be good for the next 2 years based on how you're doing things, the resources that you will have to go get somebody.
Mm-hmm.
You're basically going to do it through the draft. All these guys are going to play. If the Tua thing doesn't work out, then after next year, you're going to need a quarterback. What I'm saying to you is, are we going to be, as a fan base, are we going to be patient knowing the bleep show that the organization is in for the next 2 or 3 years?
It depends what you mean by that. Like, it's like, are they going to be patient as far as like, are the fans still going to go to the games? No, there'll be a lot of empty pockets.
Sure.
The apathy will be there, and I'll catch you when you guys are actually looking like you're doing something. That's
right. But
that's
no. Everybody wants to go take this route, though. Right?
Yeah.
Right. But I'm saying,
But
usually when people take this route, and I've said this before, usually people want to take this route when they don't like the coach or the quarterback or whatever, right? But then when you say, okay, we're really going to go through the process of rebuilding, we're not going to half-ass it, we are going through this process through draft picks or whatever, how many people are patient to see it through?
But Leroy, if you see success or you start seeing something building, you're gonna see it through. Like the Commanders did a whole new regime. They needed to get that stench of Daniel Snyder
Correct.
out, right?
Correct.
They got the right they got the right ownership, they got the right people, they got the right coaches.
Mhm.
They drafted a quarterback. And what happened? They had success in the first year. So if you draft the right people, you put the right personnel, you can see early success. It's happening in the NFL all the time.
The only argument that you would have on yours, and we got to take a break because it's the end of the hour, but is if you were worried like you're going to go, it's almost like a college coach. Like there's a lot of college coaches right now that I'm sure programs that still would like to fire their coach, but there's a lot of guys already fired. So like, are you going to get the best? Are you going to get the best guy? So if you were to look at the Dolphins situation right now, yeah, it's a nice place to live, but roster wise, it's going to be the worst because like if you say Dable gets fired, but you get Jackson Dart, you're like, oh, that's a pretty good situation. If you go to Tennessee, if you think Cam Ward's something,
Right.
it's like, hey, I got at least my young quarterback that I can kind of settle right in there to. With the Dolphins, it's like, oh, there's nothing. You got a really rich owner, you got a great city,
right?
But the roster's the worst in the league.
That's why I say
so
this
that,
might be
that I can see that argument of like, hey, just keep it until you're in a better spot. I can understand that.
This is going to be a young, new quarterback. I mean, coach, because nobody else is going to want the job.
Would think, yeah. Would think.
Right.
We got to take a break. More to come here. Back after this.